We were never meant to exist alone, but the modern world can feel that way, even though we are usually surrounded by other people. What is often missing is meaningful interaction, where we go beyond small talk to connect at a deeper level and share our energy and character openly. Meaningful interaction requires us to drop the mask we wear day to day and show the world who we are. But right now, this deep connection between human beings has arguably never been more challenging, just at a time when it has never been more needed. The COVID-19 pandemic has had a hugely damaging effect on society, on interpersonal relationships, and on mental health. The social isolation of the lockdown was harmful to the psychological well-being of all of us. The media relentlessly stoked fear on a daily basis, which increased stress levels and promoted a toxic atmosphere of mistrust between strangers. Our social landscape can be peaceful or hostile, and it can either increase or reduce our stress levels. No one could deny that the environment of social distancing is stressful and deeply unpleasant, and we must consider how it is affecting our children, who are learning how to relate to the world and each other by observing us. Initially, we accepted this proposition as a temporary measure, but now the government is making it clear that these toxic social conditions will be imposed for a year or perhaps even longer. We must consider the damage that has already been done in the form of fear and mistrust, and we must consider how society will change if we allow these conditions to continue for the foreseeable future. We often have little choice but to accept the rules, as the government makes new laws to criminalize what was once regarded as freedom of choice and freedom of association. But although circumstances are often beyond our control, our response dictates how they will affect our lives. When the government imposes social distancing measures that are clearly harmful to our well-being, we have a duty to respond in a way that mitigates that harm. Because our well-being will simply never be the concern of those who govern the masses. Our health and well-being is our responsibility alone, and so it is our duty to our loved ones to think for ourselves and not simply follow government guidelines that violate our freedom and dignity. Many people are troubled by the strange new world we have entered, and they wonder when life will return to normal. But the time has come to face the reality of our situation. When the government speaks of a new normal, they mean that our world has changed for good, and so we must adapt to these changes. To simply tolerate the inhuman and mistrustful environment of social distancing will gradually drive us insane, at least to the extent that normal human interaction will no longer be possible. If children grow up in this environment, they will possibly never know the fulfillment that comes from true friendship and intimacy, which come from the easy and open association of people in society. And so, as the government imposes rules that drive us apart in a strange and inhuman system of masks, lines on the ground, and plastic screens to separate us, this situation is asking us to fight for our humanity, nothing less, for the freedom to interact as the social beings that we are, so that we can nourish that part of us that needs connection, appreciation, and love. We have all been through a terrible period of social isolation, but there is a question before us that decides whether we shall reclaim our lives. Is our fear of the coronavirus so great that we will avoid social gatherings that are not socially distanced, where people are not wearing masks and sitting 2 meters apart? Is our commitment to following the government guidelines so rigid that we will continue to watch our lives pass us by, waiting for permission to do the things that bring us fulfillment? Ellipsis Wellbeing is committed to promoting the healing of our society from the trauma of this experience. We encourage small groups and local communities to come together and sit in circles with no other agenda than to share our experiences, concerns, and wishes for the future. In this way, one by one, community by community, we will affirm our connection and shared interest in a society where human beings can find support and friendship. Through these circles of healing, we can begin to reverse the harmful effect of this experience and reverse the social distancing that is tearing our society apart.